I like your cut, Gene. What game is this?
Two.
Two?
Yeah, security controls.
Who got the first one? Shit.
Hey, my homies hate plasma steak, bro. Plasma steak is ass.
Only one. I got you
plasma
3 times.
Steak. I hate that card, bro. Everyone hates that card. That card's trash. I went down. Yeah.
First raffle goes to Justin G.
Justin! Woo!
2 times. That's more than enough.
Kadaiba.
Those 4 or something from here.
Aiba.
Wait a minute.
That's the old school stuff. I always get those. Yeah.
But you have to lose to get that.
I don't mind.
You can potentially get in raffle.
Yeah.
Oh, Pog?
I think I go with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a double winner.
Next raffle. Eagle SA.
Hey. Ooh, Eagle SA, let's go.
He's already right there.
No one needs one more of those. That's shenanigans. He'll bite off you.
Og.
Pog.
And last raffle goes to Omar.
But I never win it though.
Go for it, man.
Reroll.
I'll take whatever's good.
You guys want from there or this sword?
Do one more. Do one more.
Do one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or specifically say my name. But do one more.
Rig it for Gene. That's what he wants.
Was it me?
12th place.
Bottom of the list. Bottom of the list.
Trash can.
Easy
Gene, get that Palmon.
No.
So you can't even say that.
What'd you get?
Yeah, I know, right?
What'd you getting?
Debbie.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
Pod B, Table 1, Troy King and Matt. Table 2, Justin G and Jenny. Table 3, Who's the Legend and Arthur. Table 4, Roy and DCG Bandit.
This Gucci was swinging.
Right. The man behind the camera. Hey. Wow.
Steve, you got it? You got it?
No. That was rude. Why would you put the camera on him first?
You got it?
You already know who it
You
is.
beat me, man. You got it? You got it. Oh, man. Pot B, right? All pot B?
I mean,
Oh, no, you're C, right?
C. Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
B.
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 So, fuck yeah.
Apparently, we just decided to hang out over here.
Yeah. We're waiting for the next match.
Hold on, look at that mat though.
Which one? That one is a badass man. Both of them.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let me see those, man. Sounds fucking cool. Hell yeah, man. Got the top 4 right here.
Are you about to leave? Or you're just chilling? Just for us 4.
You just want to chill and play. People play.
What's up, Joey? Man, you got first place in a 26-player tournament. What were you running, man?
Yeah, I was playing Imperialdramon.
Imperialdramon. And what matchups did you have?
So round 1, what did I face? Round 1, I faced Lord Nightmon.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, I faced Commandramon, Rookie Rush. And then round 3, I played Lord Nightmon again.
Never mind. And the finals?
And then in the finals, I played Purple Good Stuff, and then I also played against Green Control.
Green Control. All right. And let's see your deck real fast, man.
Yeah.
How do you run your deck?
So for rookies, you run 4 2 costs.
Oh, you want to? Yeah. You good?
So not too many. It's in this format, you still kind of want to stay in the raising, and so, but you still want to have 2 costs, and I couldn't pick between Electron or Goma, so I just ran both. And so after that, we run 2 Vmons. He's really good for drawing. In other decks, you run more, but I have some spice in here, so I just decided to run this at 2 because when you rescind your Imperial, you draw, and this deck draws a whole lot. So
Nice.
It makes it super consistent. So then, obviously, probably the best rookie in the deck, Vmon. So he's classic. He swings. He's jamming.
No explanation needed.
No explanation needed.
Yeah.
He's just great. And so, and then the little spice that we run in this list is 4 Blucomon.
Nice.
And it's because we run a source strip engine, and so having Blucomon can really be clutch, as I'll explain a little more.
No
later.
Gomamon?
So no Gomamon.
Yeah,
so
okay.
we're broke.
All right. Gotcha. What about the babies?
The babies. So the 4 babies are 4 Demi and 1 Upa.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
pretty standard, not really crazy. So going on to champions, we run 2 Gorillamon and 2 Tobyomon. The reason we run 2 and 2 instead of 4 of either is because sometimes you want the 6K. With the DP reduction in this format, the 6K is important because it makes them work a little harder.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need something cheap to drop, and so Tobio can act as that, so he can act as 2 other rookies. While also still being a champion. And so those are things that you want to keep in mind, and so I run 2 of both. And so then we run 3 Colomon. And so Colomon is great. He's a blocker. He's a 1-cost blocker, and so memory efficiency is really big. So we run a total of 7 cards with 1 cost. And so that's really important. And yeah, he's just standard blocker. Then we run 2 Grizzlymon. Grizzlymon is a great 6-cost blocker, so sometimes that matters because sniping 5K blockers is really easy, and so you just want to make sure, hey, we just have a blocker that actually stays on board or makes them work a little harder where they might have to pass memory. So 2-cost evolution is also good. I think you should always run 4 2-cost Digimon because sometimes you go second and you want to pass back 2. You don't want to have to pass back 3 or something. And so, and last but certainly not least, 2 Lobos for game. And so Lobo, he just seals up games. You gotta have shiny ones because that's the maximum disrespect. And yeah, so going on into what I think is probably the most traditional but also the most important part of the deck are your level 5s. So you run 4 Dino Beamon. Dino Beamon is just a great Digimon. I think jamming and piercing are broken, and so he puts a lot of pressure, and he's just good. And so then going on to Imperialdramon, we run 4 Imperialdramon, the standard Imperialdramon. Jamming is great, so you can be really offensive much quicker than most decks, but then also his Digivolution skill in an Imperialdramon deck is great. It's just amazing. And so love these cards. These are arguably your most important cards. If you don't see these, you never win. And so I tried to cut some, but I went back to just running 4 and 4. And so for the Megas, we run the classic 4 Imperialdramons. He's your boss. He's, the color carrier. This card has not gone bad and probably will not go bad. It's just a good card. And so he puts a lot of pressure in this format, and just probably next format he might fall off, but then EX collection he comes back. And so just a good card all around. And then 2 of Nidhogg's. And so this idea was inspired by Dan Van, his first place top, and obviously we have shiny ones, so we're maybe a little better. No, I'm kidding. But I think Nidhogg, I didn't really like this deck at first. I tried a Hexablow version of this deck, and it just seemed subpar. And I tried Puppet Mons, and I tried everything, but the deck just really seemed to underperform. But Nidhogg is the defensive tool that I think this deck needs, and I won a lot of games because of Nidhogg. It's what evened out most of my Lord Nightmon matchups. It also makes my Dino Beamon a lot more threatening and a lot more valuable in raising. And so a lot of times I would promote, and then I would build a Dino Beamon in raising, and if they somehow got rid of the Imperialdramon that was on board, this would come out, and since they're already rested, we swing, draw 1, and then we go into Nidhogg, and it would just be so much value. And so I think just that is a great player to have, especially in a blue deck where people just aren't expecting expecting for it and aren't going to tech for it, because how do you really tech for it? It's just a great card to have. So yeah. And then our last two Digimon are one, Blitz Omni, because Blitz Omni can steal you games, and it can be kind of hard to remove. I think it's pretty easy to remove, but usually I just used it to win game, and it came up twice today. I won 2 games because of it, so that felt good. And then also our last one is our regular Omnimon, our BT1 Omnimon. He's really good. The popping is really good. He also makes stacks where you have Imperialdramon and you have Dino Beamon underneath more valuable, because you can return the Imperialdramon, but also this stack becomes dead after it swings. And so this won me 3 games today, in fact.
Wow.
Just swinging, having a 50k body on board, but also against the Commandramon Rookie Rush, I just Omnimod cleared their board, which was, you know, hilarious. And then another time against Lord Naimon, they didn't block with their blockers, and so I ended up just going into Omnimon, and it took away their lethal and presented them with lethal that they couldn't get rid of. So this was really good, and I think I was running it at 2. It was too much, and then I never tested this at 2, but I really like this, and I think I'm gonna keep this. So
And with this guy, those are games you hit for like 3 or 4 times in one turn?
And so he works with the Imperialdramon. So they're kind of, it's interesting, because just like there's 2 different stacks that you have to think about in this deck. So there's the Imperialdramon with Imperialdramon, and this feels good, and it swings 3 times. That's where this guy is awesome, because you can get that 4th in and just win a lot of games. But then when you go into this stack, because it's gonna happen, and sometimes you just need to.
Yeah.
You swing, and then this guy comes out, and he acts as removal. So they kind of act as balancers between the 2, which is why I run 1 and 1 of each.
Gotcha.
So yeah, really loved it. So going back to the options and whatnot. And this is where some of that spice is going to come up. We run 2 Sora and Joes. And so Sora and Joe is, I think, just really awesome in this deck. I think it makes people play weird, for one. I also think that being able to potentially go to 5 is incredible. Sora and Joe presents a combo in this deck that really, I think, elevated this deck in my eyes, because you'll have Blucomon. This is why we run 4 Blucomon, because you'll get Blucomon in Soul or in Source, and then you'll, obviously there'll be a champion, but you'll go into Imperialdramon. So if you have 5, you Digivolve into Imperialdramon from 1, from level 4, so you'll be at 2. You swing, trigger Sora and Joe, rest, gain 1. Now all of a sudden you have the 3 memory you need in order to go into Imperial, and so then you can swing 2 more times, which is great. But also sometimes they'll try to just like choke you or something, and so they'll put me at 2 while playing around Sora and Joe. I'll go into or I already have a Pilgrimon and raise, swing, and activate Sora and Joe. And if I'm at 1, I can have, it makes it where I just need 1 Hammer Spark to enable me. Or if I'm at 2, Blucomon automatically enables me. And if you have another Digimon with Blucomon in Source, he acts as another memory gain. So essentially this just acts as a chain extender, which I found really relevant.
This works as well with the Omnimon too, right? Because you're at 5, you go to 2, you attack, you activate, you gain a memory, you Impildra, you attack twice, and then you Omnimon.
Yes, and so it really just extends all of your plays, and it's really great. And I felt like you had an open slot in the rookies, and so adding this is just, I think, good and generic, but this really helped, felt great today, I'll just say. Cool. And so came up a lot, came up every game, I'd say. So this often ended up being the rookie I wanted to go into, and then obviously you can build this in raising, and you just have a really awesome play. So yeah, love this card. Definitely liked it at 2. I know other people ran it at 1, but it just felt great at 2. Sometimes I wanted to see it more, and it just never came up. So the last tamer, the basic, Bavis We call him Bavis because he's blue. He's amazing. He's just consistency. You know, since you're running Nidhogg and Dino Beamon, you can +2 a lot. And so you get him set up usually pretty early and you win games, or if they swing at him in security. I stole a game in finals because of that. I was probably going to win anyway, but he just creates blowouts. And so having 3 memories secure really creates blowouts. And so love that. And then last but certainly not least, 4 Hammer Sparks, and yeah, got the shiny
The
ones.
bling, yeah.
I got the bling. I know I said I was broke earlier. This is where my money went, and so Hammer Sparks broken. A lot of this deck is really enabled further because of Hammer Spark, and I built the deck kind of to make it to where I need less Hammer Spark to compete with cards like Blinding Light and HPD. And so really this whole engine is designed just to like be the memory enabler that Imperialdramon can sometimes lack. And so all in all, we went undefeated today. The deck felt really awesome. Really good matchup spread, and so I think I want to test into security control. But this was a lot of fun, and I think I'll start playing this a lot more. And so, yeah.
And your opinion, what's the hardest deck to play against right now?
What's the hardest deck? I think this deck has a pretty even. No, I mean I'd say Lord Nightmon has the favor, but this deck's pretty even into that. I haven't tested it, but security control just seems like, what do you do? Green was also kind of hard because if I run out of steam, I lose. And so it's really just about, hey, how long can you keep steam going? My opponent misplayed game 1 in the finals, and I think that really cost him. Otherwise, I think I might have lost. And that's, you know, admittedly. So sometimes you brick, and sometimes, you know, you fall behind. So you'll have that. You have cards in here to help you come back. But I think the top decks of the meta are still better than this, but I definitely think this list, for me at least, felt like I could even out most matchups.
You know how to control the deck,
Yeah,
you know how to pilot it.
So yeah, and so that's what really matters, is that sometimes I just you know, the opponent doesn't expect the Nidhogg, or you know, the opponent doesn't know how you're gonna get to lethal with all these little cheeky ways to all of a sudden they think you're at 1 and you can't do anything, and then it's like, no, I'm actually at 3, and you didn't know how to play around that. And so I think a lot of this deck, its benefit is that people don't know what this deck does. They think they know what it does because they think it's Imperial, or if they just see this and the Sora and Joe, they'll think it's Hexablow. I got that a lot. It's pretty funny. So I think using that to your advantage and knowing your matchups will really help you. And so I'd probably say on paper, security control is the hardest, and then green, and then yellow, in that order. Or like these are the hardest decks to beat. Purple's really easy. Black doesn't really exist this format. And then Shoutmon, you're the only deck in the format that actually goes burr, probably harder than them. So they don't exactly love the matchup.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, man. Hey, congratulations on your first place win, man.
Thanks.
Thanks.
So, take it easy.